Once upon a time in a dense forest, there lived a mama pig with her 3 little piglets. The little pigs were strong and healthy because they ate nothing but nutritious food from their mother's milk. As the piglets grew older, they started getting restless inside the house and wanted to move out into the world on their own. But Mama Pig warned them that the world outside was full of danger, especially for young and inexperienced pigs. "You are not ready to leave home," she said. "If you insist on moving out, you will have to build your own houses." The 3 little pigs looked at each other. They had never built anything before, but they were determined to do it. So they said goodbye to Mama Pig and went off into the woods to gather materials for building their homes. After walking for some time, they came across a tall hill and decided to rest. Soon, the little pigs started arguing about what kind of house they should build. The first little pig was lazy and scared of hard work. He just wanted to finish his house quickly so he could go back to playing games. So he started collecting twigs and leaves. The second little pig thought he was smarter than the first one. While picking up sticks, he kept looking around to see if anyone was collecting more materials than him. The third little pig worked diligently, collecting bricks and stones. Even though he had to work harder than the others, he wasn't discouraged because he knew a strong house would keep him safe from any wild animals. After collecting enough material, the little pigs went back home to start building their houses. The first little pig finished his house quickly and proudly announced, "I am safe inside my twig hut. Come and see how beautiful it is." But his house was so flimsy that when the second little pig walked past it, it collapsed, leaving the first little pig shivering in the cold. Feeling sorry for his brother, the second little pig offered him to stay in his stick house while he collected more materials for rebuilding. The first little pig accepted the offer, but soon he started complaining that the stick house wasn't safe, either because its roof was leaking. When the third little pig arrived with his house, both of his brothers refused to believe that he had managed to collect so many bricks and stones. "A brick house? What a waste of time!" The second little pig scoffed. "Look how luxurious my stick house is." But the third little pig ignored them and moved into his house. One day, a big storm hit the forest. Strong winds and heavy rains lashed against the third little pig's house, but it didn't budge. In fact, it became stronger with each gust of wind. The first 2 little pigs huddled together in the corner of the stick house, crying and shivering. Suddenly, the roof caved in, and the pigs ran out of the house to seek shelter under a nearby tree. Just then, the third little pig opened his door and invited them in. "I have plenty of space for both of you." The 2 little pigs thanked him and snuggled next to each other on a pile of hay. Before long, the storm passed and the sun peeked through the clouds. The 3 little pigs emerged from the house to survey the damage. The storm had blown down many trees and destroyed the first little pig's twig hut beyond repair. Seeing this, the first 2 little pigs apologized to their brother for not believing in him. "You were right. We should have worked harder and built sturdier houses. Now we have nothing left," the first little pig said dejectedly. The third little pig replied, "It's all right. You can live with me. There's enough space for all of us in my house. But you will have to work hard to rebuild your houses if you want to live on your own again." The 3 little pigs spent the whole day discussing, and finally, they agreed to build their houses using only some bricks and some stones, but not like the third little pig. They worked hard the whole next day, and by evening, they had built 3 beautiful houses. The first little pig worked faster than before, because now he wasn't lazy, but motivated to prove himself. The second little pig also worked hard, but only because he wanted his house to be better than the third little pig's house. The third little pig continued working without caring what the others thought. After 3 weeks, all 3 houses were completed, and the little pigs moved into their own homes. One day, a hungry wolf was prowling through the forest in search of food. When he smelled the delicious aroma of pork, he followed the smell until he came across the first little pig's house. Knocking on the door, he said, little pig, let me in. Not by the hair on my chinny chin chin." The first little pig replied. The wolf was taken aback by the little pig's response. Wolves were known to be the most ferocious animals in the forest, and no one dared to say no to them. But this little pig wasn't afraid of him at all. Furious with anger, the wolf huffed and puffed and blew the house down. The poor little pig had nowhere to go, so he ran as fast as he could and hid in his second brother's house. The wolf soon arrived at the second little pig's house and knocked on the door. Little pig, let me in. Not by the hair on my chinny chin chin," the second little pig replied. Hearing this, the wolf became even angrier, and he blew the house down in a single breath. The 2 little pigs were terrified. They hugged each other and ran to the third little pig's house. The wolf reached the third little pig's house and knocked on the door. Little pig, let me in. Not by the hair on my chinny chin chin," the third little pig replied. "Oh really? Let me show you who's the boss around here." The wolf huffed and puffed, but he couldn't blow the house down. No matter how hard he tried, the wolf got exhausted, and seeing no other option, he climbed on the roof to get in through the chimney. But the third little pig had placed a huge pot filled with water on top of the chimney. The wolf fell into the pot and cried, "Help! Help! I am drowning!" The 3 little pigs watched from the window as the wolf struggled to free himself from the pot. Finally, the wolf gave up and said, All right, you have won. Please help me get out of this pot." The pigs agreed to help him, only if he promised to never harm them or their families. The wolf readily agreed, and the pigs pulled him out of the pot. Then, they all sat around the table and had a nice dinner together. The wolf apologized to the pigs for trying to eat them and asked if he could live with them. The pigs agreed, and from that day on, the wolf became friends with the pigs and helped them with their chores in exchange for food and shelter. The story of the 3 little pigs teaches us that hard work pays off. The third little pig worked hard to collect materials for his house, and in the end, it was the only house that didn't get destroyed by the wolf. On the other hand, the first 2 little pigs took shortcuts, and their houses were destroyed. So if you want to achieve something in life, you have to be willing to work hard. Otherwise, you will fail. It also teaches us to respect other people's opinions and beliefs. The first 2 little pigs mocked the third little pig for collecting bricks and stones instead of twigs and sticks. But in the end, it was the third little pig who was proven right. Lastly, it tells us to not judge someone by their appearance. The wolf looked scary and ferocious, but in reality, he wasn't bad. He simply needed a place to stay and some food to eat. The 3 little pigs could have easily killed him, but instead, they showed him kindness and compassion. And in the end, they gained a loyal friend and protector. Hey guys, if you enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to like it and subscribe, so you never miss out on any of our exciting fairy tales. Also, check out these other amazing stories that we have already uploaded, and we'll see you in the next video.